Okay, so Apple has done an amazing job with iOS 16. This is probably one of my favorite updates for the iPhone in a very, very long time. However, there's always room for improvement when it comes to software. So in this video, I want to talk about some of the worst things, some of the worst features and things that need to be changed in regards to iOS within iOS 16 and some of the shortcomings for iOS 16 as well. Now, as always, if you would like to stay up to date with the latest iOS news and Apple software updates, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you turn on those notifications so that you don't miss another episode. Now on the left here I have an iPhone running iOS 16 and on the right I have an iPhone running iOS 15 just for comparison. Now the first thing I want to talk about is wallpapers. Yes, in iOS 16 wallpapers are a lot different. So let's go into the wallpapers categories here, and there's a few things you'll notice once you update to iOS 16. The number one thing is no more live wallpapers. So you know these wallpapers that are specific to an iPhone, these wallpapers are no longer available. Now I question myself why, because Apple could have easily implemented this into the lock screen of iOS 16. This is no longer possible here with an iOS 16 because when you press on the screen for the live wallpaper, it goes into the customizing menu, which is okay, but Apple does have a live weather on the lock screen for the lock screen here. So if you click here, you see that the animation sort of happens momentarily. I think this could have been implemented for the live wallpapers where you click on the actual lock screen and you see the animation momentarily and then it goes back, because I know a lot of people like these device specific wallpapers. Like I'm sure you've seen the iPhone 13 has a specific wallpaper. So if we go here, this is the iPhone 13 specific for the blue. So iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro has their own specific wallpapers, iPhone 11 as you can see here. And I know a lot of customers really enjoy these live wallpapers, and I think Apple could implement this into iOS 16 by just simply doing the live animation as they do for the weather here momentarily. Look at the live animation and then sort of freeze it there in frame, and we can have those live wallpapers on the iPhone running iOS 16. Now another thing Apple could change in regards to iOS 16 is the fact that we no longer have dark mode wallpaper. So here is the wallpaper for iOS 16. Right now I'm in dark mode, so if I go into light mode, nothing changes. As you can see right there, the wallpaper does not adapt. If we go here into iOS 15, if we go into dark mode, you see that the wallpaper sort of just goes dark. So this is something, of course, that many users really like about the software in regards to just sort of transition this light and dark mode environment within the iPhone. It's no longer happening here within iOS 16. So yeah, wallpapers sort of got better but worse at the same time with iOS 16. Now I just noticed a particular behavior when I go into Control Center, and I didn't notice this until iOS 16. So the way I close Control Center, and I would like to know your opinion in those comments down below, is by tapping on the top of the screen just like so. Now there's a new feature, a privacy feature within iOS 16 that I really do appreciate, because if you use the App Store, something that uses your location, or maybe FaceTime, something that uses the camera, and you launch several of these applications that use location, camera, and microphone, you get this new menu here that when you tap on the center, it shows you all this information, which applications is using the camera, which applications are using the location services. But I've noticed that when I tap in the center, I always bring up this menu, so it's sort of intrusive in a way. I mean, I really like the fact that I can see which applications are using what at what time right there from Control Center. But sometimes when I launch applications and do Control Center, this sort of gets in the way, and it's an extra step to sort of close Control Center in my opinion. Yeah, you can just swipe from the bottom, which is the way most users should do it, but I noticed that my behavior, and I tap on the center right there, center top, and sometimes I enable this feature here in iOS 16, which again is nothing major, but just a minor change that Apple could do. Maybe switch it over to the side a little bit or something like that, maybe just change it around. Next I want to go into the lock screen, and here's where things actually expand a little more into what I believe should be changing within iOS 16 in the near future. Keep in mind we're still in beta, so hopefully these things will change. I'm tired to actually clicking on this button for the camera and also swiping on the camera. I don't know how Apple thinks this is useful. It's the same spot for the same action. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. I think Apple should definitely have the ability or add the ability to customize these shortcuts here, because this is sort of redundant. You know, just take a picture, you swipe to the left, take a picture, you can press on the shortcut. It's the same thing. It's just something that's wrong with iOS 15 as well as iOS 16. I think it should be changed. Again, Apple should allow users to actually customize these shortcuts within the lock screen. Another complaint for many users is the fact that I bet you can't tell what's the battery percentage on this iPhone right now. Can you tell by that icon exactly what's the battery percentage? Is it 60? Is it 55? Is it, I don't know, 70? Well, the answer is 56. And I bet you couldn't guess that by looking at that icon. Well, I think Apple should definitely change this within iOS 16. We still have time. This software is still in beta. Please, Apple, make the battery icon a number instead of an icon, or at least give us the option to switch to the battery percentage indicator instead of just having that icon on the status bar that tells us absolutely nothing. And last but not least, I want to talk about widgets, because I think this is the biggest missed opportunity within iOS 16. Widgets remain pretty much the same within iOS 16. So for example, we have the clocks widget. Now, if we go into the clocks application, there's many things you can do within the clocks application, right? You have your world clocks, you have your alarms, you have your stopwatch, and then you have your timers. What if we can set a widget to do any action for any particular application? This time we have the world clocks, which is, in my opinion, probably the least useful option within the clocks. Give us a widget that we can customize and change the option for a particular app. So if I want the clock widget, I can add the clock widget with a stopwatch or a clock widget with a timer, and that way I can interact with the actual widget instead of just having a platter here with whatever Apple decides is best for the widget. I think customizing widgets should be part of iOS 16. Again, maybe we can set some stopwatch options here, maybe some timer options, and we can click these without having to actually go into the application for these functions. So customizing shortcuts for the actual widget will be useful. Same thing applies for music. We've been saying this for quite some time. We can go into the music application here, start playing some music, have the controls displayed right here where we can fast forward and interact with the actual volume and things like that throughout your playlist and things like that within the actual widget. So widgets is a big missed opportunity for Apple. Also, the home application doesn't even have a widget, and this could be very useful. So you can enable disable features within your home, turn on and turn off lights, maybe a platter or widgets with different toggles where we can interact with the actual widgets and get some use out of widgets in iOS 16. So hopefully in the near future, Apple will integrate this within the software. So right now, some of the biggest downfalls in iOS 16 are features that are not even here just yet, and some are just shortcomings like the widgets. So let me know what you think about this in those comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.